Twisted Sister. And Mick Jones says, Twisted Sister, I live in New York, they're on the radio all the time because his music is being played on PLJ in New York and we bought time on PLJ. So casual listeners think they're on the radio. So this is like the one piece of good news. Mick Jones says, oh, Twisted Sister, they play them all the time. So Mark says, why don't you stick around? And Phil Carson says, I can't, I got to get back to this. But I bought this new thing called a VCR. It's about this big and I'm taping the show. It's like VCRs have just come out. I mean, we're talking like Stone Age shit, you know? There's all big machines with big cartridge. So he tapes the show and he comes, and the next day we're playing at the Marquee, famous Marquee Club, and Phil Carson comes down, and he walks in the dressing room. He says to our manager, he goes, I want to sign this band. And he walks in the dressing room. He says, chaps, he goes, you know, I'm Phil Carson. I signed AC/DC, blah blah blah. I'll sign your band. And I looked at him and I went, well, what label are you with? And he went, Atlantic, which of course is the one label. The one label in which the president had just said 2 weeks earlier, the next person who mentions the name Twisted, of course it has to be this dude's from Atlantic, right? Has to be. So I didn't say anything to him because I didn't want to like chop his legs off. So I said, well, we're not getting signed to Atlantic, so that's not even an issue. The next day Phil comes back because we played 2 nights. He goes, boys, I want you to know I'm signing you to Atlantic. Except I had a very interesting phone conversation with Doug Morris. And I go, how'd that go? He says, well, I called up Doug. I said, Dougie boy, I just saw a great band from New York. And I need to ask you because they're from New York, even though I can sign whatever I want. Dougie goes, really? Well, what's the name of the band? And I go, Twisted. He goes, fuck them! Fuck them! They suck! They suck! And he goes, dude, they may suck, but they're going to make a lot of money. That was Phil's comment. So that's what he said. He goes, they may suck. We're going to make a lot. So he signs us to a deal, and we make Can't Stop Rock and Roll, and we release Can't Stop Rock and Roll. And it sells, and we get like a bunch of hit singles in England. We're doing Top of the Pops, and oh my God, we're like stars in England. We come back to New York, and like the label is basically like, we hate you. We're not going to release the record. I mean, we hate you. Like, you guys suck. We're not even releasing it. It's like, come on, man. He says, no. He goes, not only do you suck, you went over budget by $4,500, not $450,000, not $4 million. You went over budget $4,500. Wow. They go, if you want us to release the record, you pay us $4,500. So we went to the Fountain Casino, played a date for $5,000, paid the label. So they released the record. No tour support. So now we have to go on tour. Well, we get in a Winnebago. We've never been west of the Hudson River. We've never been west of the Delaware Water Gap. And we said, well, we gotta go tour. So we're in a Winnebago, right? And we drive to Salt Lake City for our first show at Blackfoot and Crocus, 29 minutes. And then if you play 1 minute over, they pull the plug. So we do 29 minutes. We get in the Winnebago, it breaks down. So Mendoza is like a mechanic, you know, so he fixes the muffler. And we drive down to Tempe, Arizona, right? We drive to the next city, wherever it was, and play the gig, and Winnebago breaks down. So now on our way now to Tempe, it breaks down in Raton, New Mexico, and it's the band in a Winnebago with a U-Haul truck with 2 roadies, and this is like a super ultra Christian town, and we've got us and D, and like I'm thinking, oh my God. I walk out of the Winnebago, I put my hair under I put on a hat, I walk into this diner and I go, excuse me, y'all, we're a Southern rock band, our Winnebago broke down, can you help us out? And they said, go across the street to the Annie Get Your Gun bar and speak to the owner, Pistol Mangino, and his partner Wayne owns the Ugly Duckling Used Car Agency, and they'll rent you some cars to finish the tour. So I go across the street to the Annie Get Your Gun bar, and I talk to this guy, Pistol Mangino, and he turns around to his partner Wayne, and we call Wayne the Ugly Duckling Used Car Agency, and he rents us cars. Now, the Winnebago is now destroyed, and now this is what we do. We get 2 rent-a-cars, so this is the tour. 2 rent-a-cars and a U-Haul. So we drive to Tempe, then from Tempe to San Diego to LA to Sacramento to Riverside, then Riverside back to Denver, that was 19 hours, Denver down to Houston, that was 22 hours. We get to the Houston show, we get to Austin, and we get into the bar, and it was a Cardi's chain, Cardi's was the name of the chain. We get there and it's packed with unbelievable women. I'm thinking, well, maybe things are really starting to turn. There's women, it's packed with women. I'm thinking, well, maybe the word is out, like this is like really starting to happen. We're on tour, packed with women. We found out why. The band, the people who opened up for us was a male stripper review. So when they left, so did. So we did Austin, Beaumont, Houston, and then drove 36 hours to New York, all without tour support, by the way. We played the Beacon, got in a plane, flew to England, did the whole Monsters of Rock tour, fly back to the States, get in another van, drive to Kansas City where we meet Queensryche. Now Queensryche had just been signed. And here's the difference. Queensryche had a giant tour bus. brand new, huge. And they're all 19 years old. And we're in a freaking VW van, and we're all 30.
Right.
And I'm looking at the guys in Queensryche, and I'm going, yo, what's wrong with this picture? You guys been together how long? A year. 10. How many gigs you done? 12. Not 1,200. 12.
Right.
3 with Def Leppard, 3 with Ozzy, 3 with Judas Priest, 3 with AC/DC.
Right.
And we've done like 8 zillion. I go, they have a tour bus. I got a freaking, they have a $250,000 tour support. We got nothing.
Right.
So I go, and they felt so bad that they let us sleep they let us use the extra bunk as revolving because we're driving around in little cars and whatever. They felt terrible. I mean, they were nice, uber nice guys. We did a whole tour with them. We went to Canada with Dio, and now it's 1980. Now it's December of 1983, and I'm in the record label. I'm up at Atlantic doing some press, and the publicist says, JJ, I want you to meet Doug Morris, the president. I'm thinking, I don't want to meet this guy. This guy hates my guts. So she takes me into his office. She goes, Doug, this is JJ. And Doug says, JJ, have a seat. He says, listen. He said, I want to read you some stuff. And he opens his drawer, and he pulls out a stack of telegrams, because there was no faxes, no email. And they go like this. Hey, Doug, Twisted played in Florida, where blew the place apart. How come we got no support? Hey, Doug, Twisted played L.A., blew the place apart with Crocus Mother. How come there's no support? Hey, Doug, Twisted played with Dio up at Montreal. How come no support? Hey, JJ. Doug says, look, man, I made a mistake. I am sorry. He said, you know this thing called MTV? It just started. He says, you give me the right video, and I will make you the biggest band in the world. And I looked at him, and this is what I'm thinking. You're so full of shit. There's no fucking way. I said, this is the biggest. I said, who do you think you're talking to? I'm a New York kid. I don't fucking buy this crap. You think I'm on my knees sucking you? Fuck that. There's no way. So I went, yeah, sure, cool. I walk out. Publicist, JJ, what did he say? He says he's going to make me the biggest band in the world. She goes, that's great. I said, no, it isn't. He's full of shit. Well, he did. Wow. Brought in Tom Werman, and the next year we were, us, Van Halen, and AC/DC were the biggest bands. No, that's essentially, that's your Cliff Notes story of what it takes.
All right. How about that?
It's a long way to the top.
It's a long way to the top. What's the moral of the story?
Perseverance.
You do it for that.
I mean, I can tell you that 3 years later, the band broke up, and then I was sued for millions of dollars, and I wound up in bankruptcy court, got divorced, and wound up with nothing. I had 2 subway tokens on the guitar. By 1989, I'd lost it all. And I knew why. I wasn't an idiot. I knew exactly what the game was that went down, and it had to happen. And when that day happened, I was now 36, and I'm thinking to myself as I walked out of bankruptcy court, I have no credit, I have no money, my wife and I are just divorced, I've got 2 subway tokens on the guitar, and I have to rebuild my life. And I rebuilt my life again. I got a straight job as a stereo salesman. I had to get a job. Here I am, JJ French, selling stereo equipment. I have to install it in people's houses with my records there, which is about one of the most surreal experiences you can possibly imagine, because I would never tell them who I was. I don't want to get into that conversation, so I'll explain it, but I'd have to go to their houses and their rooms and see my albums. And you would see it, or their kids would have it, or they would have it. And like, I'm installing stereo systems, and I remarried, I had a kid, I had to support the kid. I said to myself, that's life. You had a shot, you did it once before. What are you going to do, kill yourself? You can't. You got to move on. Completely made you humble again. And then Seven Dust comes into my life, and I kind of invested a very small amount of money in a demo tape, and 9 months later I was given a check for $175,000 by TDT Records, and made 4 times more on Seven Dust than I ever made on Twisted Sister. And that brought me back yet again. Then after that thing happened, my second wife left me. I went through another divorce and I had a house in Long Island, and that whole thing fell down, and I'm sitting there going, now what? And out of nowhere, Twisted Sister, this is now 2003, Sweden Rock says, well, we heard you guys played the benefit for 9/11, and we heard you guys are back, and we want to make you headliners. And because in Sweden, Stay Hungry is one of the top 10 albums of all time. It's like massive over there. So we went there. That's when Yes opened up for us, and we had no idea. When I tell you we had no idea, I had no idea that the band had any popularity at all. So all of a sudden, we were headlining Sweden Rock, and then next thing you know, we're headlining Bang Your Head, and then the Iced Earth cancels from Wacken. Next thing you know, we're handling Wacken, and within 2 months, we're now go from nothing, thinking we're nothing, to now an official bona fide headliner, right? And to this day, 10 years later, it's bigger than it's ever been. We played a bigger crowds than we've ever played. We played in 33 countries, and we played to more people than I've ever. We play 10 shows a year. That's all we have to do to make our money. We're headlining we're playing Boss Pop. We're headlining Boss Pop this year. Go online and look at Boss Pop's lineup. Besides being the biggest, which is 90,000 people, we headline Friday, Iron Maiden headlines Saturday, Slipknot headlines Sunday. It's like 80 bands on this fucking bill. Oh well, they're not even. They may be on that bill, but we'd be like.
But didn't you say?
Oh yeah, we're whacking. We headline over Slayer. Yeah, because we just headline over everybody. Yeah. We're a headliner. So I now get to live out my rock and roll dream. You know, I'm going to be 61 next month, you know, so I just get to fly out to a country. I get to run around on stage plugged into 6 Marshall amplifiers, like at this age, you know, with a Les Paul, and then come home and basically be anonymous because I don't really need to have that shit in my, you know, it's nice to separate the two. The band had a life. And why did the band have a life? So here's the deal that you need to understand. Life in general, bands in particular, but life in general is like an iceberg. What people see when Twisted Sister is performing is they see this amazing show and they go, that's great. But underneath that little tip of the performance lies this massive iceberg of experience. This massive iceberg that was built over years and years and years of success and failure and success and failure and keep on going and keep on going, determination. The journey is what it's about. Figuring out how to survive over everything. And I mean, we've had trucks blown up, members die, PAs fall apart, you know, threatened by people having, you know, hits, you name it, it's all happened to us. There's almost nothing left. I mean, we had our truck blown up one night. I'll explain this to you. How's this? We're playing at Speaks in Island Park, right? I'm doing Sweet Jane, right? It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. We just bought a brand new truck. It's a 20-foot truck. It's parked out back. I'm singing Sweet Jane. All of a sudden, someone says, yo, JJ, your truck's on fire. Door opens up, and a fucking new truck is in 50-foot flames. I'm singing Sweet Jane going, holy shit. Our truck is on fire. So I go over to my light guy who's on the stage with me, and I go, how much gasoline is in the truck? He said, we just filled out 2 giants, 250-gallon. I went, holy shit. So I go, everybody, please, orderly, leave now. Because we're in the back wall, and I figure if the truck goes, it's going to blow the wall down. And there's about 1,800 people. It was a Thursday night. It was a typical Thursday night. So we said, everyone, please leave. So everybody walks out. It's January. Now, here's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing black 6-inch heels, little terry cloth tops, like some leather hot pants or some shit, dog collar, some shit to embarrass my daughter till the day I die. But I'm so stunned at my truck being destroyed that not only is my truck destroyed, but Rat Race Choir, you know, Rat Race Choir, their truck had broken down the night before, was parked there and was melting in the heat. So we've now destroyed not just our 20-foot truck, but Rat Race Choir's truck is melting due to the heat of the fire of our truck. So I walk out of the parking lot, fire trucks show up, and I'm standing with the club owner, and I'm watching my truck, which we had just paid for that day, completely destroyed. And I'm standing there thinking, how the fuck am I going to do with this? And some guy comes up to me and goes, hey, when you guys going back on and finish Sweet Jane? I went, what? He says, I paid $5. I said, you asshole. My truck's on fire. He goes, I don't give a shit. I want my money back. I mean, this is the kind of bullshit you put up with. So I found out a couple of years later that the truck was destroyed by a rival club owner who we refused to play his bar. Wow. And he sent his son down
Detroit.
to... Yeah, no, but not from Detroit, but from a place called, I won't mention the name of the club, but the son of the owner of this rival club sent down his son. And his wife admitted it to me many years later. I ran into her. Wow. And she said, yeah, so-and-so, the guy told his son to go down, and he lit a fire under the truck and blew the truck up. So, I mean, again, this is Soprano shit. So, like, you know, come to me when you've done that, right? Come to me when those stories happen. People say to me, do you regret anything? And first of all, it's a waste of time to regret. It kind of is. I mean, what you do, and learn from it, yes. I can't really sit around and say I wish we did something different because there's a lot of things we could have done different. The videos showed some element of the band, but the band was just a kick-ass bar band. And that kick-ass bar band is essentially what we are now today because this is how we dress on stage. Right. We don't wear makeup anymore. So when you come and see the band now, you just see a tough, hell-bent rock band. When my daughter was born, the band wasn't in existence, and when she was about 8 years old, I figured, you know, I should tell her something about what her dad did. So I'm trying to explain to my daughter that I was a rock star, which is a kind of funny conversation, you know. But here's my 8-year-old daughter. I said, you know, sweetheart, your dad was in this famous